What's going on, everybody? This Afro think tank. White man says black people know white people better than white people know black people, and I have to agree. Black people in America, us particularly, we know and understand white people better than white people understand us, because white people have not had to understand us because they've been using us. To understand us would be to humanize us. To humanize us would mean they couldn't justify the things that they want to do for their own personal benefit. Therefore, they have to use cognitive dissonance. They have to use every mentally ill tool in order to suppress their humanity, to continue to exploit us and do the things that they do to us while acting like they're human, right? They have to have a level of civility throughout their lives, right? And then they have to pretend. They have to like shut common sense and decency and human decency off in order to continue to take advantage of other people that do things that they can't do, or that can accomplish things they can't accomplish. So they need to have those people accomplish those things on their behalf because they don't have the capability, as far as they're concerned, to do it, right? And because black people, we had to live with all of their mental illnesses. We have to live with all of their ego. We have to live with all of their immorality. We have to live with their lack of principles. We have to live with all the things that make them terrible people. And we have to deal with those. And it's because we have to deal with those things, we have to learn the intricacies of this virus that we are forced to deal with. We know when that white person's happy, when they mad. We know what they're gonna do when they get happy. We know what they're gonna do when they get mad. We know what they're gonna do when they get excited. We know what happens when they get caught. We know how they act when they're embarrassed. We know how they act when their ego and their pride is hit. We know how they act when they feel like they're losing. We know how they act when they feel like they're winning. We know how they act when they have an event. We know everything about these people. And we have been trying to tell everybody else, but everybody else don't want to listen to us. But now everybody else is finding out that everything that we've been saying is 100% true, and it still doesn't even touch the surface of what we know. POCs are finding out a little bit of what we know. That's why we're not surprised at how they act, the things that they do, as far as politically wise. We're not surprised at anything they're doing politically. While everybody else walking around shocked and act like it's actually news, to us, it's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Being disenfranchised as far as voting and all that stuff, it's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. White people finding weird reasons to kill black people randomly, it's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Right? It's an apocalypse to the Europeans because they're getting the same smoke. They realize that the cops also kill them too. It just doesn't make it on TV. That their communities are dilapidated too. It just doesn't make it on TV. That their schools are underfunded just like ours, but it just doesn't make it on TV. That they are abused within the same system that they uphold. It just doesn't make it on TV. So while you have all these white people who make decisions against their own best interests because they feel like they're part of this club of whiteness and that they're above and they're premium human being, even though nothing in their history has ever shown them to be premium in any form or fashion, unless we're talking about making weapons of mass destruction, anti-life weapons that kill people. If we're talking about that, they have excelled in that. And completely, they know how to kill things. They're good at killing, all right, from a distance, because they're not good at doing it face to face. That's different, unless it's themselves. But they're good at killing from a distance in the most cowardly way possible, so they don't have to deal with any of the consequences of real war, right? Real man on man, freaking earthly. They want to do it from a remote control, from way off, so they don't have to suffer any actual consequences of being a true warrior, right? This is their thing, right? To murder, death, kill, while keeping themselves as safe as humanly possible and keeping their minds mentally away from everything that's happening. That's why if you look on the news, they talk very casually about the genocide that their people commit. They talk very casually about the multiple nations that they have disrupted and destroyed and started genocides. These people bring nothing but death and destruction, germ, shit, and piss. And they easily and casually can talk about it as if it's some sort of history detached from reality, or is it something that's happening over there detached from reality? They can easily tolerate murder, death, kill, and destruction of humanity, of earth, of animals, and they can talk about it so casually, right? Because they don't have the principles, the morals, or the connection to nature to see that what they're doing is wrong. And if they do, see that it's wrong, they do it anyways because they're evil incarnate, right? But we know that, right? And we're not surprised. So we, the opposite of them, the ultimate empathetic, the ultimate survivor, we can do everything on our own. We don't need anybody else. We understand them because we have to. And it's part of our, it's how we survived for millions of years, adapting to the difficulties of other multicellular organisms in order to survive. We will be here. When they're gone, we're going to still be here because we do what's necessary to survive, knowing our enemy better than our enemy knows us. Because they spend so much time reaping off the milk and honey of us, they haven't figured out how we make the honey, right, and how we make the milk. All right? Anyway, you guys tell me what you think in the comment section. It's Afro Think Tank. Learn something, teach something. I'm out.
There's an old saying that black people have always known white people better than we even know ourselves. And I'm going to prove to you why this is true in this video. Number one, the reason my words have always triggered white America is because I've done what most white folks are too terrified to do. I simply put the myth down. I walked away from the racial lies and the narcissistic narratives we were fed from birth. I stopped buying into the delusion that our comfort is the only reality that matters. I'm not talking to you from inside the white bubble anymore. I'm just talking from the outside. You see, there are two Americas. One is built on the hard truth, and the other is built on a white fairy tale. Black people have the clarity they have because they never bought into the myth of white supremacy. They knew it was a hustle from day one. But white America made a deal with that myth. We traded our soul and our connection to reality for a sense of superiority that doesn't even exist. And that's the God's truth. That's why white folks have zero credibility when you talk about race. We can't have credibility when you're living a lie, can you? And in 2026, we're seeing the receipts for that truth. Last month, 8 million people, mostly white folks, marched for No King's Day. They were out there screaming about fascism, affordability, and the loss of democracy under Trump's regime, like the house that just caught on fire this morning. But look at who's not in those streets. Black people largely set this one out. Why, you might ask? It's because black people tried to warn white people for years. They pointed at Trump and said, this is where this ends. They sounded the alarm on the racism, the corruption, and the rot. But white people didn't listen. We went ahead and supported this racist regime in massive numbers anyway, because we were too blinded by our own greed and our own fucking arrogance to care about who got crushed as long as we felt superior. Yes, we saw a great white, morally bankrupt narcissist that mirrored our white narcissism perfectly. Trump, the white man's racist messiah. See, white supremacy is a moral lobotomy. It has turned white America into toxic, delusional people. White narcissism spiritually stunts the person holding on to it. Fact. I know I was a racist. And we need to be clear. White supremacy isn't just the guys in the hoods or the extremists in the news. It's the everyday culture of white America. It's maintained by the average white person who either perpetrates it, denies it, or enables it through a cold, calculated apathy. It's all that silence that gives it permission to breathe. We thought we were the owners of the machine, but we were just the next ones on the menu. Now that the smoke is finally reaching our front doors, we're acting shocked. But black people aren't shocked. They've been looking at us from the outside for centuries, seeing the truth of our chaos while we were busy getting high on our myths. We spend all day, every day, spewing 1,000 false narratives and lies about race, indoctrinating ourselves with a belief system that keeps us trapped in this myth. No, black people aren't coming to save us this time. They're standing back, watching white people fuck around and find out what happens when you build a world on a fucking lie. That's why, despite the struggle, if you ask a black person if they would ever want to trade places and be white, the answer is almost always a resounding no. They'd rather keep their soul and their clarity than inherit our racist soul-crushing delusion. Because at the end of the day, black people have always known white people better than we have ever dared to know ourselves. They've always understood that white supremacy was never just about power. It was a form of enslavement for the white man. And ultimately, it is our destruction. So white America, I'm going to leave you with this. James Baldwin told us, Not everything that is faced can be changed, but nothing can be changed until it's fucking faced.
Who taught you to hate the texture of your hair? Who taught you to hate the shape of your nose? Who taught you to hate the color of your skin to such an extent that you bleach? Who taught you to hate yourself from the top of your head to the soles of your feet? Before you come asking Mr. Muhammad, does he teach hate? You should ask yourself, who taught you to hate being what God gave you?
Free Sudan! Boycott diamonds and gold! Free Sudan! Boycott diamonds and gold! We most definitely cannot forget about the people of Sudan!
Thanks for watching Afro Think Tank. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And follow me on Substack and Patreon for more content. Remember, it's Pan-Africanism or nothing.